ago. My question, a gentleman a moment ago said that not so efficient, I guess in my words, to hold you in handcuffs, the Forest Service in handcuffs, and then he made a reference between private land and public land, but kind of if this were private land, I could see how that would make sense, but this is public land. This place is home to everyone in this room. And if someone is going to come in and on our tax dollars, on our dime, say, hey, we're going to do this, and if we get in your face, and if we make demands, then we have ample reason for that. Another concern that I wanted to bring up was I visited several years ago in about 2009, 2010 after the ice storm, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there were claims that some cutting or clearing out had to be done because of the damage caused by the weather, and a group and I went in and noticed kind of multiple contradictions to that narrative. I believe it was spotting canopies or particular conditions to how the trees were, and there was, if any, we noted minimal work was probably necessary, and yet we were being delivered this narrative kind of similar to the circumstances as to now, oh, well, okay, we're going to come in and do this, that, we're going to clear the weeds from the garden, and that possibly, if there's any legitimacy to our concerns at all, that might be why there is some, and that's all I want to say.
Any response? Anyone have a rejoinder? Yes, ma'am.
Well, I can't get up, but I have a big mouth.
Well, I tell you what, let me bring you this mic, and if you get close enough, maybe you can hear it. But you have to get right in it, see, like this, or you can't hear it.
Okay, my name is Susan Allen. I'm from Evansville, Indiana. My husband right this week is the chaplain down at Piney Campground. We have been coming down to Piney Campground since my daughter was 5 years old. She is now 45 years old.
I'm sure she appreciates you doing it.
I'm sure she will too. But the point I wanted to make is we have watched over the years a lot of changes happen. When we first came down, the roads were gravelly or asphalt at the best. They were narrow and they were switchbacked all over the place. And we loved it. But we learned to love the straight roads. My daughter came home from camping for 2 weeks this past week, almost in tears. They had gone to the 8600. She has walked the entire trace, down the trace path, and she has visited a lot of the cemeteries. A lot of the cemeteries are not being well kept. I don't know all of the things about these numbers that were being thrown out or the statistics and all this. All I know is that we, as a large family that comes regularly and brings our dollars down here, don't want to see any more damage done to this place that we have loved for years and years and years. Thank you.
Okay.
Question back here.
Yes, ma'am. Come right up. Okay. Now you have to get it right in.
This is just in response to the man in the green shirt. You were saying that you moved here 30 years ago. You were saying that you moved here 30 years ago. My father-in-law was born here 77 years ago. Me and my husband got married at Bacon Creek 26 years ago and can't even go back there. My sons are 36 years old. They was raised out here in LBL. We spent weeks and weeks and weeks of camping. We had problems with TBA. We was in Concept Zero also. We didn't get anything done with Concept Zero, and we certainly hadn't got anything done with the forestry. And just looking from all this time that we've been out here, I think that the people from LBL that was moved out of LBL should take a closer look at what's going on now, and they should be heard more than what they've been heard. Because we have these meetings and we say our piece, but nothing's been done about it.
Come around here.
My name is Bill Schmear. I have no affiliation whatsoever, and it's going to seem like I changed the subject for a little bit. It's not going to be that way. I've read quite a bit about LBL and the formation and so forth, and number of visitors is 1/5 what they projected, approximately, and I know they cheat to get it that high. I have 25 years in merchandising, and I'll tell you, they blundered dramatically on putting together LBL if they wanted to get a whole bunch of visitors here. That's not really what I'm going for. I'm going to use the president's name once, just for a second, and then I'm going to get to the subject. Barack Obama is big time campaigning on global warming. Trees long-term absorb carbon dioxide. Grass, over about a 2 or 3 year period, becomes carbon dioxide neutral. It decomposes and gives off carbon dioxide, and it grows and it absorbs the same amount of carbon dioxide. All this burning that has been talking about, the people have been talking about, that contributes on a one-time carbon dioxide every year from that grass into the atmosphere. If carbon dioxide is real, then this is a stupid thing that they're going to do. The gentleman who has got who spoke about forestry, he made 2 different statements that were mutually exclusive. So that made a sentence once, said something, and then a little while later he said a sentence and said both of those can't be true, and he did that twice. So the only thing that seems perfectly obvious here, there is a secondary agenda, and that's not going to be good for us.
I'm glad there's a fly over here in this part of the room, but I thought he was being assaulted otherwise. Lady in the bright yellow shirt. I can't miss that. Your name and any affiliation, please.
Okay, I'm not good at speeches, but my name is Daly Moore. I'm a 12-year-old forest loving girl. Daly Moore. Daily, like a daily routine.
D-A-L-Y.
Hello, my name is Daly Moore, and I'm a 12-year-old forest loving girl. I've always loved being in the forest ever since I can remember. My dad, Richie, has always given me the choice to pick where I want to go on vacation. If we wanted to travel or go on a cruise, we could. But out of all of the choices, I always chose LBL. For some camp, I love camping at Hillman's Ferry. I call all of LBL my home away from home because I spend the majority of my free time up there all year. I've camped at Hillman's ever since I was little. I've seen many people come and go, and I have seen many things change. That brings me to something very serious and what is very concerning to me. I have seen not only Hillman's, but most of LBL decline from the lack of maintenance. I enjoy learning the heritage and history. I love exploring back roads and trails in our Jeep. Most importantly, I love exploring and being deep inside the forest. One day, I hope to bring my children
you're destroying what she can have. This is our next generation. Logging has got to stop. The heritage, the recreation, the environmental education has got to begin. You're out of control with your agenda that nobody understands, nobody wants. It's time to stop. It's time to start planning for this next generation.
Put your hand up to speak. Okay, come right on up. I'll come to you. Right into it.
There's a few of you here that know me, I've worked with or friends with. And so my name is Tony Edward, and as far as affiliation, I guess you could say I kind of contradict both of them, because I was in Concept Zero when it was started. I also worked for the Forest Service as a volunteer. Tonight, I'm here as a citizen. I've heard a lot of good points, and I have traveled all over LBL, back roads, probably some I shouldn't have been on, but I have seen the logging, the clear cutting, and some of it that was done, the trees and the treetops have just piled up. They was not cleared out, and it looked terrible. The 8600 area, I think if they continue it and don't do it anywhere else until they see what this becomes, I say okay. But doing it all over LBL and clear cutting and stuff, I say no. I said let one area develop, see what it becomes. Areas where they have logged, the loggers should clean up their mess, should be made to clean up their mess so that it can grow back trees or grassland, whichever happens to be in that area naturally.
I'm Jim McCoy, 8 years old. I grew up over up at 20 Lake. I guess he did. I finally made it. And I've been over here a long time, and they have the most disgusting people I've ever dealt with. They don't say anything, but this is what I'm gonna say. These young super cats up here, they talk about how much acre free do. How much oxygen does it supply? We've got kids coming behind us that we want to kill them with their ignorance. Get out. Go to some of these foreign countries where they got all the timber cut off. Got them kids wearing Scott Airpack. Get Grandma, you done a grassland looks good. But I tell you what, I can't hardly get my breath. You know, they ain't got no intelligence on what they do. That's what's sad to me. I mean, another 20 years, if we keep cutting our damn trees, we're going to be smothering to death. I won't, because I probably won't use but another gallon of oxygen, but I just tell them, you understand? But they don't have any intelligence on what they're doing. I don't care if they're cutting or what. They've been cutting and whittling ever since they run us out and moved us out where they want to stay. And they're never happy, but I don't think we need to cut the trees on account of our oxygen levels are low right now in the country. Go right down here, I mean, just common sense, everyday language. Go down here in one of these towns and get out and breathe. You need to go up between lakes and breathe down and get you some air all the way down to your belly. But see the difference right there.
Okay, this gentleman right over here. I'm sorry, that was you be next.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Matt Hare. I grew up in the south end of LBL. I grew up in a little piece of heaven called Indian Mound, Tennessee. A lot of my friends, families, farms were taken in the process. And I don't begrudge what happened. It was politics. It happened. We have to live with the end result of what happened years ago with our government. I can say this, though. As a kid growing up in Stewart County, I experienced a lot of fun in the LBL area. I hunted, I fished, I camped, hiked. And one of the things that's near and dear to me is motorcycles. I grew up riding them, and racing them. I still ride them. I don't race them anymore. But we have a park. I believe it's about 2,500 acres called Turkey Bay. And Turkey Bay was, that's my recollection, because the bike I was riding was developed around 71 to 72 when it was opened up. Things have changed a lot as far as in the outdoor recreational activities that we have going on in that park. At that time, there were motorcycles. Eventually, Honda created a three-wheeler. And then in the 80s, the four-wheelers became more prevalent, and there's a lot of those. The park is not used in the manner that it was originally intended for, because today we have rock crawlers, and I have nothing against these other types of vehicles. There are rock crawlers, there's UTVs, there are ATVs, and then there's dirt bikes. That area is worn out to motorcycles. That's why your numbers are dwindling there. That's why people don't want to go. Myself, I'm a member of Middle Tennessee Dirt Riders, and it's a family-oriented club in Middle Tennessee. There's about probably 350 families or active participants in it. We would like to have a place to ride with fresh ground. This is 170,000 acres in LBL. And we got the same 2,500 acres that we were using when I was a teenager. And I'm 58 years old now. It would be nice if we could take a different piece of the property and donate it to motorcycles. If you want to leave that property that you got there because it's chewed up for the rock crawlers, and they like it, that's good. But there needs to be another place, and I think there's ample opportunity to be able to do that. I'm also a member of North Alabama Trail Riders Association. That club leases about 5,000 acres of land. It's actually in Tennessee, but it's a club in Alabama that leases the land from a forestry company. Now, this may offend some in the room, that's not the intent, but there's harmony there between the motorcyclist community and the forestry company that has the timber company that owns that property. It's 5,000 acres there. There's another 17,000 acres of land that's owned by, or it's leased by Cumberland Mountain Riders Association. Again, it's a bike-only environment. It's not ATVs, UTVs, or rock crawlers. But it's another case where there's harmony between what you want to do as a forestry service, what we want to do as citizens, have a good place to, to go and camp and do that sort of thing. There's a happy medium here, I think, that we need to reach. But within the OHB Park at Turkey Bay, it really needs to be reorganized. And the other thing that I would like to see, because this is really, really dangerous, it's not directional. So you're subject to hit head-on collisions. I mean, I've not witnessed it with my teammate that's here with me. He's seen people life-flighted out of there as a direct result of head-on collisions. It's nice to say that we think that people are going to slow down on a bike or a four-wheeler or what have you, but that's not reality. We're adrenaline junkies. We've got the twisting of the throttle in our blood. We're not going to slow down. It would be nice, but when you have people going head-on trails, it's an invitation for disaster. So I understand from you, we could get a response. Is that something that you would take a serious look at? Well, with regard to trail miles, what we would like to see happen is them doing like ski slopes, diamond, and then have them directional. And if you want volunteers, I'm sure between the club that I belong to, Rodney belongs to, and some other clubs, we can find the people to help you. What we find enjoyable is not what four-wheeler width. We call it single track, and it's narrow, tighter conditions. And no one in our club or in our environment is opposed to shutting down trails if the conditions are wet where you have a tendency to rut things up. That's not our goal. We want something that's fun and pleasurable. In the case of Carter Mountain Rider Association, they shut that area down during turkey season, and they also shut it down during deer season. So we have overlap between hunting and we're not opposed to that either. I mean, there's a happy medium there of what you can obtain for the land use and not destroy it. Last question I got is, when can we get a response back informally that we could that you would look at that?
Okay, I promise this gentleman right here next opportunity.